Now, it's not only about the people in the room, this process, it's also about what you have to say. So much has been said about this national dialogue on places like social media, which is not necessarily always representative of the general sentiment, but is a good signpost, if you like, for what people are saying and are feeling insofar as these issues of national importance are concerned. So we're going to take this opportunity to just slightly shift gear and hone in on some of those sentiments on social media. And to help us do that is our multimedia producer here on the SABC News channel. And that's Nthati Moloi, who joins us now on our makeshift studio. It's lovely to see you, Nthati. What a busy 2 days it's been, and so much more still to be said. Before we jump into some of the tweets or X's we have, I wonder if you can just give us a broad take of what some of the main sentiments have been, at least online.
Well, thank you for having me, Ayanda, and good afternoon to the viewers at home. In a nutshell, we are having very mixed reactions from socials. People, some of them are for this national dialogue, and some, actually majority, are totally against this national dialogue. Reason being that, if you remember very well, there were national legacy foundations that pulled out, and people are literally sharing the same sentiments with regards to that. They're talking about it's not inclusive, the budget is not really transparent, as well as that it was rushed. So basically, that's how people are feeling. They are really not for this national dialogue.
All right, so let's jump straight into some of those tweets.
Yeah.
I know you've selected some of them, and I'm hoping we'll be able to bring them up. But kick us off with perhaps one of the sentiments that you wanted to highlight.
So as you know, today marks 13 years of the Marikana massacre. And somehow this national dialogue is linked to that, because people feel like, why now, or why today, or rather this time to have this national dialogue, or convention rather, because on this particular day we know that we had a massacre in Marikana, and we have Nthati Moloi at Moloi J saying it's the 13th Marikana anniversary today. 34 miners massacred by the South African Police Services on the 16th of August 2012 during a 6-week wildcat strike at the Lomnan. Cyril made sure that he gets us citizens distracted from it to focus on the national dialogue. So essentially, they feel like the president, instead of having to deal with the whole Marikana massacre thing, he had to do it today so that we get distracted and focus on this national dialogue rather than the Marikana massacre.
And I wonder what the response from the presidency would be. But the sentiment is not unique in Nthati. We've heard from some commentators here asking the question, how could the president's advisors not have told him that there's going to be this particular clash, for lack of a better term, at least competing interests for the attention of the country? But I suppose we're here now and we'll have to continue. I know there's some people suggesting this is what, grandstanding?
Yeah. But then, talking about grandstanding, actually, I have a tweet by @D Mamume, who's saying the amount of grandstanding and attention seeking at the hashtag National Dialogue ZA is embarrassing. The very same people who say the government is not in touch with its voters, this government doesn't listen to us when given a chance, and it's about spotlight. So, yeah, people feel like this is mainly about attention seeking and the grandstanding, basically.
Yeah, and I know the similar sentiment is also about having a conversation about a conversation that's going to take place, right?
Yeah, and now that you're mentioning that, people actually feel like, why do we need to have a conversation to resolve issues? Whereas, apparently there's allegations that 700 million was spent for this whole thing. People feel like that amount of money could have been used to actually solve issues, because they're already out there and we know what needs to be fixed, so they don't see the need for a dialogue. Instead, the money could actually be used to, fix the issues that we're already facing as South Africans.
Yeah, absolutely. Honeycomb there is essentially reflecting that particular sentiment, saying the main problems that we have are land and the economy. Lengthy, meandering discussions are not going to take us anywhere. 30 years into democracy, we're still acting like we don't know what the issue is. Come on, hashtag dialogue ZA. There's also, I suppose, an interest to hear from civil society that represented here, right? And they too use social media as a way to drive through their message. I see there's, reflections from people from the Black Sash even.
Yeah. Actually, we do. We actually even do have a tweet from the Black Sesh, and it's by @Oliver Meth. I guess he's representing the Black Sesh, and he says, "As Black Sesh, we are here to contribute meaningfully to this conversation that will inform what the roadmap for the national dialogues would look like. Our attendance and role here is vital." So some people feel like, as mainly Black Sesh, they feel like in order for some of the issues to be resolved, maybe, just maybe, they should participate and be part of this whole dialogue, so that when they, like, the issues are being resolved, they know that they played a role in, in helping with doing that.
Yeah. I started off by saying that social media is not necessarily always representative of the sentiment of South Africans, but you cannot ignore it. And I wonder to what extent you reckon the organizers even of this event have done a good job of making sure that they are seen and heard on all platforms, on TV, on radio, and even in the space that you frequent or work in on social media.
Honestly speaking, I feel like they could have done better in terms of like including the message, because not everyone can be here. So I'm not too sure if there is a platform where people can interact and maybe their voices or whatever they write can be taken forward and included into this whole national dialogue. So I feel like that hasn't been done properly. They could have tried by all means to ensure that they don't focus on the people that are here, but focus at South Africa as a whole, because we have a lot of people in different provinces that couldn't make it here. So yeah, there should have been a platform whereby they're saying, okay, submit whatever you want to submit and then we'll take it forward.
The other criticism about social media often is that it's very difficult to ventilate complex issues, right? There's always been that perception that, it's very hard to have meaningful discussions on places like X, definitely Instagram and the rest of it. Are you finding that that's changing? Are you finding that, in fact, a lot of what this dialogue is trying to achieve is actually happening on places like social media?
Yeah, I think it is, because remember, social media, I honestly feel like rather than any other platform, is the main one that people get to, voice out. And honestly speaking, I feel like opinions by people on social media are taken more seriously than, other ones, because, when we say we want this, it's a collective and eventually it happens. So yeah, that's how I feel.
All right. Nthati Moloi, thanks very much indeed for speaking to us. And Nthati prefers, by the way, to be dealing with your tweets than to have a microphone. So I appreciate you agreeing to come and help us connect the dots, as it were. You survived after all.
Yeah, I did survive. Thank you for having me.
All right. So Nthati Moloi is our multimedia producer here on the SABC, helping us make sense of your sentiments. I, of course, am at pains to emphasize that the dialogue is not just about the people inside the main plenary room, but it's also about many of you who are watching from wherever you are and, of course, want your voices to be heard as well.